Let's take a look at the chart action for Ethereum. All right, so here's what we're looking at. We had support right here, and we had a trend line going to the upside, and we broke that going to the downside. If we have an uptrend and we break it going to the downside, we could get the Fibonacci retracement, drag it from the bottom to the top. This gives us some levels to put in, some limit orders. I like watching the 38% level and the 50% level the most, but you could also sometimes watch the 23% level and the 61% level. In general, it's kind of a way to space out your money if you took profits at the top or if you don't know exactly where it's gonna end up at. So yeah, I like watching the 38% level and the 50% level. I have limit orders set at 4,068 and 3,823. I also put in a position over here at 4,370, and I also got caught up in some positions up here because I wasn't able to take full advantage, and the other day I was away from the charts and I had just left my money in there. So I do have some positions up here, but it's okay, I'll just leave them in there and I'll try to dollar cost average some of the way back down. I was able to take a little bit out before this happened though. I talked about this in my last video that I don't know, we're testing this trend line going to the downside, and if we kept going with momentum, then we could start looking at these levels. So yeah, I think the other thing we could look at is we have resistance right here, resistance right here. Let's do a downtrend like this. Let's do a downtrend like this. And until we break this downtrend going to the upside, then we can kind of target these limit orders pretty much. And like I was saying on yesterday's video, I wasn't sure if we were going to stay in the red zone and kind of trade like that and then pop back out, or if we were going to come here, maybe do something like this, then come down to the 50% level and trade like that and then pop out. That's what I'm kind of thinking. That's what I've been seeing a lot with these patterns, but you never know if it's going to go down further or what's going to happen. What I really want to see us do is stay above this $4,000 level, or maybe come down and wick down to like 3,800 and then come back up and try to stay above the 4,000 level though. I think that's what we really want to see, because if we go to the weekly time frame, we have a trend line. We have a trend line on the weekly time frame bodies, something like this, and this is sitting at around 3,960 or something like that, approximately. It's right around that $4,000 level. So like I was saying, hopefully we can get a bounce on this and it can act as support instead of acting as resistance like it did in this area over here. We were able to break through right here. Now let's see if we can stay above this area right here. That would be a good signal, in my opinion. The other thing we can look at is we have support right here and support right here. We're still on the daily time frame, or now we're on the daily time frame, and let's do a trend line like this. So what I'm thinking is we broke this trend line going to the downside right now. Maybe this line will hold support, or maybe we can get a bounce on this one, and this will kind of give us another kind of clue. So if we set up that Fibonacci retracement again, this trend line kind of lines up with the 50% level, maybe the 38% level, depending on how sideways we go or how fast we go down. I mean, maybe we could even hit that 61% level at 3,555. You never know how far it will wick down, so putting limit orders on some of these levels, especially in a downtrend, isn't a bad idea, because it can just wick down really fast and then come straight back up, and then you got your limit order filled and you just made a pretty good little percentage gains. But at the same time, I don't know. Like I said, I usually like to stick to the 38 and the 50, but it's up to you. The other thing I said, I want to stay above this $4,000 level, so maybe this 38 will even hold support. That's what I'm kind of hoping for, actually. But like I also said, maybe it'll dip down. Who knows? I will put limit orders on the way down, though, in general, just in case it does go down. And until we break this trend line going to the downside, then I mean, we're still in this uptrend. So technically we are still in an uptrend. Until we break it going to the downside, then we can start looking at more of a downtrend, and we'd probably have to even maybe come down here before we get really bearish. What I was looking at as well is we have a low right here, we have a high right here, we have a low right here, and we have a high right here. I don't really use the Elliott wave too much, but it kind of looks like it's doing something like that. I think it's something like that, but I think the second wave is the biggest one. I don't know. That's why I was saying I don't really know the Elliott wave too much, but it does kind of look like it's doing something like that. In general, though, we're still getting higher lows and higher highs, and we broke above this all-time high. and we broke above this one too, right here. I mean, in general, we got a higher high until we get a lower low from this low. Then we are still in an uptrend as well. I mean, it's possible we're doing something like that. We're gonna have to wait and see. Like I said, this is another thing that I'll be watching, this line right here. And then we got those Fibonacci lines. The other thing that I've been actually putting a couple limit orders on actually are the support levels. And right now we're kind of sitting at one right here. So we have like a support level right here, one in this area right here, like a small one right there, right here. So what I'm thinking is I actually put in a little position right here as well. I didn't know if it was going to hold or not, but we did have a little support right here and support right here. I think I might have positions right here as well, or limit orders, should I say. We haven't came down and hit that 38% level quite yet, but it looks like we got really close and we got a bounce up. So like I was saying, we have this trend line going to the downside. What I'm thinking is we could possibly be getting some volatility like that and getting rejected and coming back down and hitting that 38% level a bunch of times. That's happened like multiple times. I've seen that. And then, I mean, it's possible that it just comes up once and then comes back down to the 50% level. And it really just depends, but this might be a level of support, and same with this one. And this level will probably be a level of resistance. That's what I'm thinking. Once we actually break this trend line going to the upside, then that's another bullish signal. Then I will start maybe dollar cost averaging a little, but you kind of have to worry. You kind of have to wait and see if it continues to go up, because we'll have resistance levels up here that we'll be targeting. This one will be one, and this one will be one. Let's see what if we get a bounce up here. We'll probably get maybe resistance right here. I don't know. This is just some speculation and some levels that I am watching. If we jump over the total crypto market cap, here's what I'm looking at. We had something similar. We had this uptrend like this, and then we had a top trend like this. For a while there, I was kind of waiting for this to happen, but I think it was last week and I didn't make any videos because I was waiting for a breakout to the downside, and it just never happened. So we finally got the breakout to the downside, and what I'm looking at now is we could basically do the same thing. We could do a Fibonacci retracement from the bottom to the top, and it looks like we're sitting right around that 38% level right now, and the 50% level is sitting around 2.42 trillion, right around here. So like same thing with Ethereum, we might have a downtrend like this, and until we break this downtrend going to the upside, then we can kind of target these areas down here. Or once we hit these levels, then we might see bounces and we can start looking at the coins again and getting a little bullish, or looking for bounces, should I say. Same with Ethereum, we might be getting volatility, something like that, until we break it to the upside. That's just my opinion, and let me know what you guys think. If you guys have any questions, let me know. If we swing back to the Ethereum chart, I'm mainly watching 4,067 and 3,821. You might want to put your limit order a little bit higher though, because as you can see right here, it didn't quite go all the way down. But that's what another thing I like to do is sometimes I'll watch these Fibonacci levels, but I'll put my limit order a little bit above it just so it doesn't have to go all the way down and touch it, because sometimes it'll miss it just like it did right here. So yeah, you might want to put it a little bit above the Fibonacci retracement when you look at it on your chart. Alright, let me know if you guys like Ethereum, or if you guys have any questions. If you agree or disagree, let me know in the comments. If you guys want to check out my Ask Ethereum video, it'll be right here. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next one.